This episode of Jonjo Lyons Reviews is sponsored by Last Shirt on the Left. To see the fully uncut version of this video, head over to patreon.com/Jonjo Lyons.
What's that like to live deliciously? Chaos reigns.
Please don't scream.
Now, Sid, don't you blame the movies. Movies don't create psychos. Movies make psychos more creative.
What's happening? My name is Jonjo Lyons, and today I'm here to present to you my review for Wishbaby. Written and directed by Stephen W. Parsons, Wishbaby stars all of these. A magical child is born and many wishes are granted. Short but sweet. Well, hello there, friends and fans of the fantastically awful. Today we're going to be looking at something very special. Special for a couple of reasons. It's a British horror movie, which we don't see that much around here. It's one of the worst films I've ever seen, which is saying a lot. And I'm in it. 16-year-old Jonjo with his wispy little moustache is in it, and he's terrible. Wishbaby was a movie that I got after being recommended by a guy at my school who taught guitar to the producer's son, I think. Apparently they were looking for a rapper, so he put my name forward. I met with the director and it was a deal. It wasn't even really an audition. I just had a 15-minute conversation with the director, and I guess at the end he thought to himself, yeah, he could play a little shit in my movie. When I say that at the time, this was the most exciting thing that had ever happened to me in my entire life, I don't think that quite covers it. Having watched horror movies religiously since the age of 6, getting to star in one and play a rapper no less, which was my dream at the time, was insane to me. And the ridiculous excitement carried on all the way through shooting, right up until I saw the movie for the first time, and yeah, that's where it ended. Now, this video is going to be slightly different to the other reviews that I've done, just for the simple fact that I'm able to share my own experiences from behind the scenes. I don't have a starring role or anything. I've always thought of it as a glorified opening kill, but I do have a few stories. And honestly, after seeing my performance, you're going to be glad I don't stick around for long. But before we get into all of that, I just want to remind you, you can see this video completely uncut and early at patreon.com/Jonjo Lyons for as little as $2 a month. That's it. Want to see the reviews completely uncut? Go there. And if you don't have the $2 but still like the content, please click subscribe. It's free, it really helps, and I really appreciate it. But anyway, I'm in the mood to revisit what should probably remain my only ever acting role in a feature film, so let's not waste any more time. Get ready to be careful what you wish for! This is Wishbaby. The movie begins with the opening credits sequence as we see these two girls ice skating while these bags watch from the side. And yes, this little bag right here especially, that's me. Not much to say here other than the fact that I really missed that hat. It was a beanie with the brim on the front that I lost after having a fight with Marcos in Streatham. Cut to this woman leaving her pushchair outside, which the boys discover and seem to find rather interesting.
Don't touch it. Don't touch it. Don't touch it.
Cut to this fella, Colin, pulling up elsewhere and getting off his bike before entering the building. Halfway up, he gets a call about another job but declines and is then met at the top of the stairs by social services. He's the brother of Maxine, the girl that we saw at the ice rink skipping school. He's also played by Doc Brown, a rapper that's now more famous for his acting and comedic abilities. As a young MC, I regularly attended the open mic night he hosted at Deal Real Records in London, so I was so excited to be starring alongside him in a horror movie. Unfortunately, we don't have any scenes together, but he was a super nice guy when I met him at the rap party. Rap party meaning rap in the film, not... You get it. You get it. Colin tells the pair they'll have to speak to his mum, but they say they've been unable to contact her thus far, mentioning she has a habit of disappearing. Colin tells them Maxine isn't a child and they're both fine, but social services unfortunately do not seem convinced.
You are squatting in a commercial property, and we consider truancy to be a serious matter.
Yeah, well, if you let me and my mum deal with it, if you just give me a bit of space, then we can sort it out.
Back at the ice rink, Jeanette and Maxine are in the bathroom when the pushchair woman Eve joins them. She says this place is cursed and she comes here every day to bless it.
I know about these things. My name is Eve.
Yeah, well, good luck with the whole blessing thing.
Maxine wishes her good luck with that and leaves, cussing out Jeanette for abandoning her.
Why did you walk off like that? And why am I going to stay? Yeah, but you left me with her. She was crazy.
Fun fact, there was actually another scene that was shot here where the boys talked to Eve in the food area of the ice rink. I can't remember what was said, but I think we were teasing her and she made a joke. I don't know. I really wish I had the original script still. One thing I do know is I had multiple lines and felt like I did really well on the day. Well, it wasn't until I saw the movie that I realised that they cut the entire scene. Now, that could be for a multitude of different reasons. It could have been because it wasn't needed, because of time, or because, as I've always thought, I was total dog shit. Cut to Eve in an alley when she hears something behind her and tells her baby she's gonna get her home. On her way, however, she's attacked by a skateboarder with a 2x4. And yeah, that's me. I think in the script it said that I was riding a bike, but seeing as I had my skateboard with me, I suggested bombing down the hill instead, and the director was into it. Never mind where he got the skateboard from, seeing as he didn't have it at the ice rink and he doesn't leave with it at the end of the scene. Even now, I still love that shot, especially how confident I look on the board, but that hit was way too weak. You can see that I'm terrified of hurting the stunt woman. The rest of the boys then enter the tunnel and begin to attack the woman when Maxine and Jeanette spot what's happening. The pushchair is then tipped over, revealing Eve's baby to be a blue doll. The girls run over as the boys drag the woman along the ground and one of them films the ordeal. And that's where we get my first and last real line of the movie.
What are you doing, man? No, you hit someone like that for. What's wrong with you? Are you alright? She-Blood.
Yeah, who the is She-Blood? Let's hear it again.
She-Blood. She-Blood.
Truly an Oscar-winning performance. Oh, and my character's name is Bim, by the way. Bim. Never mind who she is. Who the is Bim Blood? Anyway, what follows is the usual South London conversation.
From me, man. Tell your boy to come out of my face.
When another bloke shouts down the tunnel, scaring the boys off. But apparently not coming to help. And where did he come from? The alley Eve was in. What the is going on? The girls then help Eve up and walk her home. When they arrive, Jeanette says she won't be going in, so Maxine says she can handle herself and heads inside. There, Eve talks about her family and says when she was 6, she had a governess.
When I was little, I had a governess.
What, like Mary Poppins?
Well, in a way. She came when I was 6 years old.
When young Eve says she wants her around forever, she worries about what will happen when the governess dies. So to make her feel better, she does this.
Something can be arranged. Give me Apollo. Observe.
Oh no! Mr. Squeakers! What the is wrong with you, lady?
I know all the charms, all the spells.
Back in present day, Eve says then Daddy came back from the war and it all went sour. Maxine says she knows all about that, which Eve isn't surprised about, and we cut to her taking the girl into her special room. Maxine offers to help patch up her toy when Eve corrects her.
Toy like that, he fix up easy.
Oh, but this isn't a toy. This is a Wishbaby. I'm the only one who can fix him.
Right.
Yes. If I wanted, he could punish those boys.
All right, Eve, mate. Maybe don't look directly into camera. Yeah? Maxine says you better be going when Eve touches the Wishbaby's head and tells it to punish those boys, to make them sorry.
Very sorry.
Cut to Maxine finding her brother asleep on the sofa. She takes some money out of his pocket, gives him a kiss, then grabs some groceries when we cut to the pair having a chat. Here she gives him the update on up the boys and what the crazy woman's house was like. She also says she heard a baby crying in a car park, which is super spooky because that scene, it doesn't exist. I see scenes that aren't in the film anymore.
Before that, man, there was definitely the sound of a baby crying in a car park. It's weird, man.
Colin congratulates her on doing a good thing, but says she should have been at school, when Maxine worries about social services before looking like she's about to rob more money off him. We then cut to the boys breaking into a music studio.
Oh my God. You man, this has got to be You reckon? What's up with this? Well, you thought of it. Shh, 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 shh.
I'm pretty sure I looked directly into the camera there as well, and what am I doing, playing with an unplugged mic? Security calls, but one of the boys is able to give them a password, and we also see the boys have this girl with them. With security off their backs, the boys break into another room and get the music pumping.
Hey! Yeah! What? Yo!
And I can barely watch.
OJ's racing the place in a way that you can't understand it. You can't explain very fast and touch.
First of all, I'm not a drum and bass MC. That's probably the fastest that I'd ever rapped at the time. I'm also 16. That's how I actually spoke. I'm not acting there. And in my defense, they put some random part of the tune where the beat completely drops out under my bars, making me sound super out of time. Don't get me wrong, even if it was perfectly synced, it still would have been awful, but at the time it was heartbreaking. Thankfully, the music cuts as we move away to see the governess walking around on CCTV. This fella Malcolm pops out for a smoke when he hears a noise and goes to check upstairs. Here he finds a door locked where behind the remaining lad is heaving himself into the girl who ain't about to give Malcolm a taste.
In fact, you know what? F you, man.
Frustrated, Malcolm steps away when he starts to hear the governess singing the song. He pops his head round the corner and looks onto the roof to find the governess taking in the sights. Malcolm then turns around to find his friends now silently filming him as he tries to warn them. He then starts to scream for help as the girl tells her lover she can hear a baby crying. Malcolm then gets his face stabbed right the f up with a hat pin. Okay, so after the abortion that was my rap performance, I'm so glad they left this part in. If you know me, then you know I've always been a massive fan of the Scream series, so when it came to doing this shot, I made sure to do the Ghostface head tilt. Let's see it again. You see that sh**? I'm so glad that's still in there. Cut to the girl not shutting the f*** up and letting the man when the governess claps and we see the boys on the CCTV with something not quite right. The pair get dressed and head downstairs where they find... me sitting on the coldest toilet seat with my underwear around my ankles.
Hey, you alright?
What's up, bruh?
For what felt like hours for that shot. They had me sitting there with my 16-year-old and balls out as I flailed around in the cubicle, hitting my head off the walls and screaming my lungs out. Screams that are never included in the final film. Then they get me to do it again, but this time with a baby head on. Then when the baby head comes off, I look up to see the cast and crew sort of smiling and giggling to themselves. Now this could have been because they were happy with the shot or they just thought I was terrible, but what I've thought for the last 20 years is that they saw my dick and balls. My not extremely substantial and balls. Plus it was cold as in there.
Oh, guys, there's no handle.
At least an hour of screaming for that. Sake. Anyway, here we get this goofy as shot when they go to investigate and the pair get jumped. The end. Well, of my bit anyway. Another little tidbit, one of the boys in my on-screen crew, I won't say who, actually sold me after we finished filming. In the highly unlikely event that you're watching, mate, I just want to let you know, those pills me up. Cheers for that. Cut to Colin getting niced up and then getting dressed for work. In the living room, he joins Maxine and Jeanette, then complains about the loud music coming from upstairs. She makes him promise to check on Eve when he offers her a ride.
I'm gone.
Jeanette's here.
Yeah, I can fit on the back. What, they made free on the back legal?
I don't know why, but I really love that line in the performance there. Cut to Colin stopping off at Eve's and ringing the doorbell. We hear the baby crying quietly in the background as unfortunately no one answers the door. Colin then starts taking a look around when he gets a call about a job. He finally gives up when we see the governess looking at him from the upstairs window. Creepy. Can't even offer man a cup of tea, nah? Cut to the ice rink as these girls watch a video on their phone. They're joined by Maxine and Jeanette, who they show saying it's another Happy Slap video. Happy Slaps, for those of you that don't know, was a series of assaults that were going on in the UK around that time. Basically, kids would film themselves going up and punching random civilians, and yeah, it was pretty up.
That's them boys from the Alexandra crew.
No, I found it in my rock.
Serious?
Serious. They found it. It's Tyrese's cousin.
What?
Yes.
Nah, man.
And this is going to be the last behind the scenes story that I have for you today. So I'm in the baby mask, which if I haven't made clear already, you cannot see a thing out of. The other guys are hitting the final lad in the face with a guitar and it's all been worked out so he doesn't actually get clocked. I'm in the back with the girl and I ask what I'm doing and they say I've just got to be beating her up, basically. So we do the first couple of takes, I'm throwing punches and again, I can't see anything. Then in the next take, the inevitable happens and I end up punching this girl directly in the face. I felt awful and begged the girl to punch me back, but she wouldn't. But yeah, that's about the extent of everything that I experienced behind the scenes on this movie. This is why when it comes to movies, I'm going to be staying behind the camera from now on.
It's been wrong!
What a train wreck. Cut to Eve at her house as she explains to no one in the film that in all these years she's never asked a Wishbaby to do a bad thing. Until yesterday, of course. But says now that's all forgotten. She then takes a sip of her drink as we cut to Colin at his trying to convince another family member to take Maxine in.
He's not dead.
There is no way she's coming back to stay at ours. Do I have to say it 100 times?
What, I ain't got an option here.
I've got builders all over my kitchen.
Jesus, I'm getting flashbacks to 2019. Thank God for Jake. No. We see Maxine walk into the house and unfortunately overhear the argument as Colin says if their mother doesn't return, she'll be put into care.
Maybe her going to the social services.
That's why you're a
This is so triggering for me, I can't tell you.
That's why you can never understand it, because your old dear's in Cornwall somewhere, having a cream tea, living a lush life. This is real.
I think a lot of Doc Brown's funnier dialogue was improvised because he's the only one in the film that sounds at all natural. Colin sees them out as the music kicks off again, making him lose his temper. The sister offers to call, but he them off and goes and bangs on the neighbour's door, who we can see is living his best life. The neighbour tells his topless lady friend / employee to make him a drink as they hear the banging coming from the door.
Mr. Black's from downstairs. Then.
I know it's an old gag, but I love it in movies when a scene's going on and suddenly it's revealed that one of the characters has been getting noshed off the entire time. It never fails to get a smile out of me. A smile and, if I'm lucky, a cheeky Cut to Eve opening her front door to Maxine. Cut inside as Eve tells Maxine about the Wishbaby, saying it has to be loved. You have to make it a certain way, bring it to life and love it. Maxine asks Eve to teach her how to make her own one, and after not that much convincing, she agrees.
So when does it all start?
We've already begun.
Even with how much of a chewed Maxine has, I really do love that moment. She's already so done with Eve's mystical bullshit. As she leaves, Eve's back door swings open and she goes to investigate. In the garden, she calls out, asking who's there when she sees the governess in the bushes. Eve tells the spirit she knows her as we see a vision of her younger self dancing with the governess.
The king, he will awake. The king, your soul to break.
Cut to the girls having lunch when Maxine invites Jeanette to go shopping, whapping out a wedge of cash and telling her she's gonna make a big time Wishbaby.
I'm coming or what?
I ain't really into it. I got catch up on the math.
Now, normally I'd scream, it's maths with an S! But given my American girlfriend and slow and steady adoption of American vocabulary for my vastly more American audience, I guess we'll just move on. Cut to Maxine at the mall as she picks up her supplies and enter their building as she pushes past the Russians. One of them then asks how much and the neighbour says he's got better upstairs.
How much? I have a better upstairs. White.
He's not a very nice pimp, is he? Inside, we leap into another montage as Maxine builds her Wishbaby. With construction complete, Maxine stands there listening to the sound of someone getting their guts rearranged upstairs.
Shut it.
Shut up!
All right. Jeez. Cut to Maxine carrying the Wishbaby like this for some reason. At Eve's, the old woman tells her they've had an official visit from the governess who asked about Maxine and gave them permission to crack on with their plans. Maxine then reveals her big blue baby boy, which Eve loves. She says, let's make him live, and we cut to the back garden as they go through the ceremony.
We make a magical child.
And to the earth we commit him.
Maxine worries he'll be cold in there, but Eve says it has to be done. She must sacrifice him for one night. Let him go.
Let him go.
Cut to Maxine waking up at home. She shuts Colin's door, then goes to leave when she bumps into social services on the stairs.
Don't look at me, right? You people are stopping me from going to school, and if you don't come up my way, I'm gonna phone the police.
Oh, I mean, I know I can't say anything, but good lord. Anyway, Maxine grabs the woman by her face, then on out of there, leaving the pair to decide to abandon trying to help this family. We then cut to Colin as he has a spooky dream about the governess. She strokes his face in the real world as he wakes up, and we cut to the Wishbaby grave and Maxine chilling at the ice rink again. Fast forward to nighttime as Eve tells Maxine to retrieve her baby alone.
Help! I'm just a baby! Why the did you bury me? How about you grant me a wish? I wish you'd get me out of the ground!
That's not in the movie, by the way. That was me. I wish it was in the movie. Eve appears behind Maxine and tells her to take the baby's hand, which she does, pulling him out of the ground as we cut to the two wish babies facing off. Eve asks Maxine if she loves him, and she says she does. She then tells the girl the trick is to know what she wants, which again Maxine says she does.
Let him build up his strength. Go for the small things first.
And what do we think of the design here, folks? The design of our scary doll. Which is such a shame because I remember sitting in my room reading the script and getting freaked out. On paper, it was great. But in execution, cut to Maxine at home as once again the neighbour is pumping the tunes. She whispers into the baby's ear as we see its facial expression has changed to, I don't know, mild shock. Then stares up at the ceiling. In the neighbour's place, he sits in his chair having a drink as the governess circles him like some sort of Victorian shark. He gets up with his gun and shouts at the girls when we see the governess appear behind him. Whoops! The second girl then steps out of the room, now sporting a baby head before also being executed. Yes! Our first proper blood splatter! Our only proper blood splatter. The governess then gets in his ear, calling him a foolish boy far from home. He starts to get upset as she says there's a sound he's been longing to hear, and we cut downstairs as Maxine hears a third gunshot. Colin pops his head out asking what that noise was, and Maxine tells him she thinks they had a row, but it's over now.
What's that?
It's a wish, baby.
Colin having the same reaction as the audience there. And wait a second, what happened to starting small? You could have wished for fish and chips or something, but no. Triple murder, please. Cut to Maxine showing Jeanette her baby. She says she wants to go upstairs, which Jeanette isn't up for, but again doesn't take much convincing. Upstairs, they take a brief look around before finding the three corpses on the sofa. And I absolutely love this look from Maxine here. Cut to Eves as she tells her baby they're going on a secret mission as she's worried about Maxine. On her way out, however, she's told off by the governess who says she should stay home and worry about her own baby. Back with the girls, Maxine says they say nothing to nobody as Jeanette asks if that thing had anything to do with it. This is all a bit much for Jeanette, who says she's gonna bail on the situation and catches a hug as we cut to Colin returning home. Inside, he finds the baby on the table with a note asking he be nice to it. He stares at it as the baby's face changes from a smile to a scowl, then back to a smile, then to his O face again. And then that scene just ends. Moving on! Cut to Maxine in bed with her baby when she wishes the social services people would get lost. We then join them as they enter the lift in their office building. The lights flicker, the lift stops, and the governess's voice comes out over the speaker system saying they're going up to floor 16. But the woman says there isn't a floor 16, which is dumb. Why the f is that included? What does the number 16 represent? If it was floor 13, I'd understand, but why is that relevant? The man then goes to call for help, but his phone rings, and on the other side he hears the baby crying. The governess then starts singing down the phone before appearing behind the woman and sending her on her way.
Something here.
I know. I can see them.
The man then tries to reason with the governess when she reminds him he killed a cat in the 80s.
What happens to me?
You're going where all the naughty boys go.
Oh yeah? Where do the naughty boys go then? Your butthole, perhaps? Ah, I see. Banished to bad editing hell. A fate worse than death. Cut to Colin picking up some opium from this smug, then lighting up when he has a drug-induced meeting with the governess.
You are a very interesting man. In your own country and with your own people, you could have been a man of power.
She then warns him Maxine is in trouble before giving him a kiss.
You must protect her from harm. I will instruct you how to do so when we meet again.
Hey, can I get a taste of that ghost before you go? Just give me a second to sober up. My not working. You're welcome to try, but it's like slapping around a sock full of porridge right now. You like porridge? Cut to Colin waking up on the sofa as the drug dealer's girl checks he's okay. She gives him the rest of the bag, then tries to take a ride on the BMW, but Colin knocks her back. Colin then jumps on his bike and heads home. Inside, he gets ready for another hit as the spaced out looking Maxine tells him their mother is coming back tomorrow.
I fixed it.
Solid.
I'll leave you to it.
Cut to their mum being woken up by this fella and ordered to go get some milk. But on her way, she's stopped by the governess. Cut to mum back at the family home, scrubbing their table. Maxine then walks in and asks where Colin is, with mum saying he went out. She then makes Maxine breakfast and we cut to this shot, which is so unintentionally funny. Mum asks to see the baby, so Maxine grabs it and cautiously hands it over. Mum then tells Maxine to go to the shops as she cuddles the big blue baby boy. Yo, what the f***? Do you see that thing's hand move? I actually really like that. Cut to Maxine at the shops, then back home as Mum enters with a machete saying those bodies are gonna start stinking soon. Nice! Things are finally picking up! Don't worry about what part of the body that giant piece of meat is supposed to be, though. Move past it. Cut to Colin chilling in the park and then to Mum taking out the human trash. Cut to Colin catching up with Maxine on what the hell is going on with their mum. He also seems to now just accept that Maxine has magical wish powers, asking her what she wished for and wondering how it could have gone wrong. I feel like we're missing a scene here where the power is demonstrated to Colin so he's unable to dispute its authenticity. Or even just a simple conversation, but that would make the movie longer though, so f*** it. Colin says the old woman might know what's going on and tries to get Maxine to come with him, but she refuses to leave her baby. He then suggests Maxine get rid of it, but she just hugs him tighter, so he says he was joking and leaves. Cut to their nuttiest mum and then to Eve comforting her wish baby when the governess comes down the stairs. Eve starts shouting at her saying she wishes the governess had never come back as all she's done is cause trouble, then tries to wish her away.
His toes are cold, his fingers numb. The king, your day is done.
Cut to Colin knocking on the door when he realises it's unlocked. He then heads inside to find Eve slumped over in her chair dead. And what we're missing here is a real shocking moment like the closet scene from The Ring, but instead she's just slumped over. She looks like a grandma at the end of Christmas Day. Cut to Colin walking all the way up the stairs instead of getting the f*** out of there when he's jump scared into another dimension. Here the governess tells him that Eve's dead because she shared secrets that were not hers to share. She then says Maxine is out of her depth, calling up things from the darkness before advising to burn the baby to fix all these issues.
Burn the baby, burn it to ashes without delay.
Colin wakes himself up and we cut to his mum with the baby as he reads the paper. And this is another hilarious scene. What the f*** were they thinking with this editing? Are we in a western all of a sudden? Maxine enters and Colin tells her to leave with him as she whispers she wants her baby. Cut to Colin dropping Maxine off at school and telling her he's gonna take care of everything. He speeds off when Jeanette appears and catches up with Maxine. We hear the baby crying, so Maxine takes off running and Jeanette chases after her. Colin gets home and tells his mum he's getting rid of the baby, flinging her out the way when she gets rowdy. He then finds the baby chilling in bed. Maybe it's because the film's given us so little, but I swear, the tiniest movement from that baby makes me way happier than it should. What follows is an extended fight sequence between Colin and his mum, intercut with the girls running back to her place. That is until Jeanette forgets to look both ways.
Fucking hell. Jesus.
R.I.P. Jeanette. You died as you lived. leaving zero impact at all. Colin continues to fight with his mother, eventually beating her head right the f*** in with a hammer.
Your mom. You're not my mom. You.
He then grabs the baby, pops it in the sink and lights that up, causing his mum to burst into flames as well, I think. Back at the tunnel, Maxine demands her baby back from the governess, but she reveals she has Eve's baby, which is now hers. She then tells Maxine that Colin burned the baby and calls her an unfit mother. Maxine starts throwing up blue stuff as the governess leaves, and we cut back to Colin doing drugs. Maxine then enters and sits at a sewing machine, sobbing as she starts the process all over again.
Yeah. See what I'm trying to tell you, bruv? Just be careful.
The end! Well, that is somehow worse than I remember. Never again. Wishbaby is a film that I wish more than anything I could love, but there is just so much wrong with it, not even the king of narcissists has a chance. The most disappointing thing was how much the film had going for it. A spooky J-horror inspired haunted doll movie set in London? How could you go wrong? Well, like this. The story is simple enough, with a girl doing a good deed by saving an old woman and in return being taught how to make a magic wish baby. The wishes obviously go wrong and chaos ensues. And yeah, I have endless questions, but here's just a few. Why are the wishes going wrong? Is the wish baby inherently evil? Is the trauma and pain of Maxine's life causing the wishes to be evil? Why is the governess from Eve's youth attached to it? She was clearly magical before. Did she teach Eve how to make the wish baby? Why was the governess magic before? Is Eve's the first ever wish baby? Why is the governess helping Colin but killing everyone else? Does the baby have its own separate consciousness? Does the wish baby control the governess? Why the f does Maxine throw up blue because of the baby? If she'd spray painted the baby any other colour, would that have also changed her vomit's colour? Is being blue part of the spell? And why did the governess turn on Eve? Not all horror movies explain their lore completely, but that's not a creative choice here. The real culprit in this instance is poor planning from the production, decisions made on the fly, and a lack of money leading to cut scenes. Also, the design of the wish baby and the baby heads on the victims looks so stupid. I remember seeing the masks and thinking they were terrifying at the time, but watching the movie now, they just look goofy. Onto the cast, and the only people here that are any good are the guy that plays Malcolm, Fenella Fielding, and Doc Brown. They're not amazing, but when compared to everybody else, they might as well be Daniel Day-Lewis. Next is the gore, and I have a feeling this was toned down to fit the J-horror vibe the filmmakers were trying to achieve. Only problem is you need to replace the missing gore with tension and scares, which this film has none of. That being said, the director still thinks he made a movie that deserves an 18 certificate. When this was originally submitted to the British Board of Film Classification, they gave it a 15, which he disputed, saying the film was too extreme for younger people to see. Is he having a laugh? Presentation-wise, the film hits the bare minimum with some very interesting editing choices at times. That good, the bad, and the ugly bit. What the f? The score features some weird, cheap-sounding hip-hop instrumentals, and if I never hear that sample of the baby crying again, it'll be too soon. I do like the credits song by Doc Brown, though. That's been stuck in my head for the last 20 years. All in all, Wishbaby is a massive flop for multiple reasons, chief among them being that it's not at all scary. The main character is hard to sympathize with, a lot of the dialogue is badly improvised, the villain looks dumb, and the rules/reasons why all of this is happening is confusing at best. It's a film I'm desperate to love, but find impossible to enjoy, which sucks an indescribably huge bag of I could sit here for days picking the movie apart, but I honestly just want this to be over. I always try to recommend watching the films I cover for one reason or another, but in this instance, I just can't. Avoid at all costs. So that was my review for Wishbaby. What do you lot think? It's a shame the movie turned out the way it did, but having that experience at such a young age was huge for me. And honestly, just with a few adjustments, I think this could have turned out to be a really good movie. Upping the violence by a country mile would have been a start. Speaking of which, if you want to see a Russian prostitute get her chest opened up completely uncut and early, head over to patreon.com/Jonjo Lyons. There you can find the uncut version of this review, plus others with more stuff being added all the time. We got the uncut reviews, Patreon exclusive reviews, slasher comic breakdowns, the Discord, and a couple of commentaries. And all that can be yours for as little as $2 a month. You can pledge more, I really appreciate it, as I'm trying to raise a budget to do my next short film, Better Anything. I just had the first bit of concept art sent through by the artist, which you can see here, if I'm allowed to show it. But yeah, just seeing that little bit of art has got me so excited, and I just can't wait to go into production, so Give me money. And if you want to get your hands on this sick Necromantic 2 top, go to Last Shirt on the Left. Last Shirt on the Left are a horror clothing company specializing in some of the sickest designs based on all your favorite horror movies. And if you use the promo code Jonjo, you get 10% off your order. That's 10% off with promo code Jonjo at lastshirtonTheLeft.co.uk. So that's it for another week. Like the video, leave a comment and click subscribe if you haven't already. My name's Jonjo Lyons, and if I could wish for anything right now, it would be that you all live long, wonderful, happy lives. Oh, no, wait. No. I'd wish to do in Helen Mirren. Yeah, that's it.